I am is very, very fantastic, right? It's a paradisiac island. And I have a question for you. Have you ever thought about a nation or somebody deciding to go all the way for a carbon-free future 24/7? How would it look like? Would it be a good idea or not? That's the question I'm going to be asking. I'm sure you're asking yourself, is it possible at all? Well, this is what we're going to be looking because a small island in the Pacific has decided to go all in. And that's what we're going to talk about. So, my name is Tony Teo. I'm the founder and CEO of Renewables in Africa. We are your global clean energy champion. What we do is very simple. We demystify the renewable energy sector for you so that whether you're talking about wanting to understand a little bit better how you can invest into the sector, but you're looking for information for you to know how to direct your money, or you may be from a business perspective, you say, hey, my operation, I need to decarbonize them, but I'm looking for the right solution. I'm looking for the right information to know how I can direct people. Here, you definitely get the information you want. Or maybe you're professional say, I want to jump into the sector. I want to bring my contribution. I don't know what to do. Look no further in here, Renewables in Africa channel. You will get all your information. And what I'm asking you is three things. I want you, first of all, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, because we broadcast from 5 platforms. Which one of the platforms suit you? That's fine for me. Just go with that. Ideally, I like you to subscribe to all 5. If there's only one, that's fine. Yeah. So we're on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and also we are on Telegram. So you definitely have all those 5 platforms. Just make your choice, and that's okay. Now, let's come back to the topic of today. And the reason I want to talk to you is because Vanuatu, have you heard about Vanuatu? Most likely not. So let me tell you a little bit what is Vanuatu. Yeah. So Vanuatu is a double chain of 13 principal and many smaller islands, in the southwestern of the Pacific Ocean. These islands, they are volcanic and coral in origin, and they lie about 800 kilometers west of Fiji and nearly about 2,000 kilometers, east from Australia. Yeah. So you have about 75 of those islands that are inhabited because obviously they're volcanic, as I mentioned to you, and they have mountain, plateau. Well, it's a fantastic place where to be. Yeah. In fact, let me show you some pictures first, so you can get an idea what is the place I'm talking about. I'm sure when you look behind already, it gives you an idea what it is, right? I'm sure that would be good for tourism for you if you haven't thought about that, right? So let me share some pictures, and I should be able to show you what we're looking at here. One second, let me just pull up a nice one, and I just want to share some pictures with you, and we will see how it looks like. Let me have a look at that. Look at that. Look at all those beautiful pictures. What have I done? Very simple. It's just a Google search, right? So you can see all those islands. Yeah, so that's great. So you can see from the map in here where exactly Vanuatu is. So you can see it's pretty much a dream island. Yeah. But definitely next time I talk to my wife, we may be willing to look at that close, right? Port Vila is the capital. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you. But that's enough for me. So talking about how Vanuatu look. So the reason I'm talking to you is because earlier this month, right, the Republic of Vanuatu, it's a republic. You have the Ministry of Climate Change that officially joined the 24/7 carbon-free energy compact. And what is it? It's actually an ambitious global effort to accelerate the decarbonization of the world electricity system to mitigate the climate change. And they also do that, right, to ensure that they provide clean energy access and affordable as well to all the citizens in line with the SDG 7. Yeah. And that's clearly a fantastic news. And we maybe start thinking, so that's quite a bold move, right? But why would they do that? So it's good to understand, first of all, because I'd be quite willing and happy to give you my opinion. But the question I'm sure many of you may be asking themselves is, why would they at all do something like that? What is their benefit? What is their motivation? And this is the reason I wanted to run this very quick live that we're doing here. So I think I can see potential reasons, right? So there are several of them. First of all, like I say, as a small island nation. So, Vanuatu, it's highly vulnerable to the impact of climate change. And Vanuatu is not the only one. Like I said, all those island nations, they're really, really at risk. And that's the one thing sometimes we do not realize if you're not part of an island nation, especially a small island nation, right? So, what kind of impact am I talking about here? I'm talking about sea level rise, extreme weather conditions, and also ocean acidification. And for Vanuatu, when they're committing to the carbon free energy future, it means that they are actually being proactive. They are taking steps to reduce greenhouse gas emission and mitigate the impact of the climate change. Secondly, so Vanuatu at the moment is heavily reliant on imported fossil fuel for the energy need, and that is expensive and subject to price fluctuation, especially at this moment in time where inflation is quite high, right? So, in terms of energy security, that's actually the right move for them to look at. Okay, how can we make use of the sun that we have, of the water that we have, yeah? And talking about obviously volcanic, so definitely there must be some geothermal potential, geothermal resources that they can exploit. How can we make use of that for us to become energy sufficient and also ensure our energy security? Yeah. So by Vanuatu investing into renewable energy sources, they can clearly enhance all of that. And as I say, so many other island nations should be inspired to do the same. So the question also we'll be looking at, okay, what could be the implication of Vanuatu moving or taking such a bold step? Because for me, I think that's very courageous, right? I know before them, so we had, I think, Scotland has done it, and I think a province, I can't remember what it is, right? It's essentially free entity that decided to go all the way, yeah. But they are first the first independent country because Vanuatu is independent since 1980, yeah, for you to know. So, by the way, that's the day I was born, not the day, the year I was born. So, what are the implications of the decision to join the compact? First of all, what it demonstrates is the country commitment to a sustainable future. And also, it sends a strong message to other nations, especially other island nations that are still hesitant, that transitioning to renewable energy is both necessary and achievable. Yeah? This clearly would encourage those nations not only to follow suit, but increase the momentum toward a carbon free energy system. But the second thing that I could see as an implication why they're doing it is that by joining the compact, they will likely receive support and expertise from other participating countries and also organizations, and that will enable them to make substantial progress in their transition to a carbon-free energy system. Yeah. So the kind of support we're looking at here will be technical assistance, will be financial support, will be knowledge sharing, all of which is very much crucial for developing sustainable energy projects. So these are the kind of implications that I'm seeing. So clearly, it's a significant step for them towards achieving that sustainable future, right? And it shows clearly that they taking the leadership to move forward. Now, you probably want to be asking me, okay, they are a very small nation. We barely know where they are because I'm sure before that, many of you, because I have to admit, I didn't know either. First of all, I heard about it first when we're talking about COP27. Yeah, and that's where there were some rumors that they were going to do it, and they just recently just do it, sort of clearly officializing it. Yeah, so doing something like that, it's also a good step, in terms of marketing the country, because now people be looking at, okay, who are there? What and why are they doing it? Where are they? Yeah, it brings some focus and some attention to them, right? And also they taking the chance, especially for small nation like that, because in the concept of nation, yeah, everybody to some extent also, especially the, let's say, the smaller nation, they like to also attract some attention because that's how they're able to achieve some of their objective, some of their ambitions. Yeah. It's about how can I get people to look at me? And by taking this step, they say, hey, 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 that's a signal they're sending. So we are really committed and we're making the step forward. And everybody can start looking. So where are they? Yeah. And they go and look at that. So that's a great step for me. The second thing I would say, it's because many people be talking about, carbon free future, 100% renewables energy, electricity. Is it possible? Not possible. People would say that, okay, complex economy, That's not something we can even envisage. What I'm saying is, why not? Why not? It's not because now we don't have the solution that we think that it's not possible at all. In fact, Vanuatu could be an excellent case study. Why? Because it's a small island, but they still have 300,000 inhabitants, people living in the island. So that means like there is a good, case study that can be built around it and see how it's possible to make it happen. Yes, it will be still at the level of an island, but think about all the other islands that could potentially be even bigger island. Island like Jamaica, yeah, or Haiti, or whatever, right? Or even in Africa, Madagascar, yeah. So that's why I say it's a good case study. And imagine now if, or not if, when they are able to demonstrate that they can make it work, and we can spread that across other island, then you can start looking at even bigger countries. Because for me, the challenge or the challenge, the challenge that I sometimes see it's like we tend to forget where we're actually coming from in this world. If you look at things that even things like skyscrapers, sometimes when I look at that, I was like, my God, all of it come from the imagination, of mankind. That's impressive. If you stand beside, you look at how tall they are. Would you ever think, no, would you ever think? I'll just say, imagine that, some time ago, something like that was not possible at all. We look at how places like Dubai completely transformed themselves. Yeah. All of that was once an idea in somebody's mind. Was bold enough to say, this is the direction of travel. And I usually like to take this example for President Kennedy, yeah, when he said that, at the end of the decade, we're going to be going to the moon. As far as I know, they had no idea whatsoever because it's never been done before. How are we going to get and do it? They had no idea, but they still managed to put it off. It means it's because what you have in mind, that's actually the first step for me moving towards any objective you set yourself. You make that decision and you go for it. And because you focus your effort, your intelligence, and you bring all the best mind, they start working towards a solution and figure out what is possible, not possible. At the moment, we're looking at probably say, oh no, that's not doable because of this, because of that, there's no solution. Yeah, obviously it's not doable because we never really looked at that properly. We never even tried. Yeah. It's like when we're flying, the Wright brothers, yeah. I think the first time they obviously flew, an aircraft, I think it lasted for 12 seconds. I think, and rumor has it that I think there's somebody that said, I can't remember the name of the person, but I think I heard about it. Somebody said that, oh, it was one of the cynic said that, okay, it only lasted for 12 seconds. And the Wright brothers say that, oh, we made it last 12 seconds, which was obviously a huge, huge achievement at the time because none of it was possible before. This is what I'm saying. If we say if we say this is the right thing to do, and we need to be doing that, let's make the decision. We're going there. How? We don't know yet, but we're going to figure it out. Why? Because for me, if we've been able to resolve some of the challenges that we see here, like I say, look at everything around you. We sometimes forget it. Everything was once an idea in somebody's mind who was crazy enough to say, that's the way we're going. This is the direction of travel. And then we brought all our intelligence to work toward and to achieve this feature. So that's what I'm saying. Vanuatu Islands. So, what kind of leadership are they showing here? Excellent leadership. They may be a small nation, but they're bold enough to say, "Hey, at the end of the day, it's still 200,000 people. You have to have the guts." And I'm sure, even at the level, they must have had already a lot of, I would say, pressure not to do something like that, not to take such a step. Because as you see, most of the energy needs come from imported fossil fuels. So you can imagine there's some lobbies there, so some people that control this market, and that'll be strongly disadvantaged unless they move into the renewable energy system that this country now wants to establish for themselves. This is what I am saying. That's the kind of leadership I'm talking about. We need to be bold and we need to accept that, yes, at the beginning, it will be challenging. We wouldn't know exactly what the solution, but because we're bringing everything towards it, we're looking at this direction of travel, we're going to figure out the solutions. And by the way, figuring out the solution means as well that, along the way, we're going to make some mistake, but we're going to correct it and we're going to go there. So that's why for me, I really applaud what they're doing and I salute them. I say that's really, really brave. And yeah, all the island nations go for it. For me, definitely when I see that, I want to go visit. And I would love to go there and visit and see how this island look like. Yeah. To see for myself. That's what I say. Yeah. And that for me, it's a great lesson also in terms of marketing. Let me just finish up with that. Yeah. Because like I say, you know, if people don't know you, they don't flow you. It's an island, they survive from tourism, but also financial services, and they also have a little bit of agriculture that they're doing, yeah, and also fishing, commercial fishing. That's what they're doing. But guess what? Like all those nations, like all the island nations, they rely a lot on foreign investment. And by taking this step, that's how you distinguish yourself from everybody else. And now everybody start looking at you. And guess what? There will be people that will be interested and you can bring attention. And that's what I'm saying to people. That's also a great lesson for marketing. If people don't know you, they don't flow you. What are you doing? If you're a country, if you're a company, yeah, and if you are a professional and you believe that you have something special to show to the world, what are you doing for people to notice that you are around and now start looking? Because if people don't look at you, if you do not attract this attention, you're talking to yourself. You're only talking to yourself. You convince yourself. That's fine. That's great. But you're not going to move the needle. You're not going to go forward. So, but when you're taking steps to say, to make a statement for everybody to look at you, at least what they've already gained, Vanuatu for me, they've gained attention. And because they were one of the first to do it, I bet you people now will start looking at them. And may not know, there's a lot of money around, right? To move towards energy transition. And what they're looking at are people that are bold enough to set the conditions for that money to move toward that place to see what can be done. And for me, for them to position themselves this way, that is a great move. And I promise you, I'm pretty much sure COP28, we're still going to be talking about them. So well done, Vanuatu. And that's, like I say, a bold move that I definitely will applaud. Other countries, what are you doing? Other companies, what are you doing? Yeah. If you want to find out more about how you can step up, raise attention about your product and services, bring the leads and make the sales, I wanted to reach out to me because I love to discuss that with you because I may have a couple of things that may be of interest for you. Before that, guys, let me just say that hopefully you've enjoyed this short session. I'm just going to go back and enjoy my Sunday. But I can see there was a comment. There's no question I could see. Usually I would take question at this stage. I just want to acknowledge. So who was it? It was a Consist who said interesting. Thank you, Consist. If you enjoyed it, that's great. For other people, if you have any question, just drop it in the comment box. So let me know what you think about Vanuatu move. Is it one that you will I agree with or you disagree with? So do you think we can expand it into bigger nation? If not, why? I love to have your opinion and we can get the conversation going. And as of me, I think I had a fantastic time talking to you. Always excited, to have to exchange and to engage. Let's go back to Vanuatu and enjoy some precious holidays. Guys, I see you next Sunday. It was a pleasure as usual to talk to you. May the